Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to iTrack, one of the wokest reaction channels on YouTube. Today's definitely a special day. I just reached 1,000 subscribers relatively shortly. That was awesome, completely awesome. I wanna first thank everybody that supported, that subbed, that spammed the like button. Uh, no channel can do it alone. Every channel on YouTube depends on the supporters and the people that like the actual content. So I want to send a big shout out to all of you guys that have been liking, subscribing, sharing, all of that good stuff. All positive vibes, all good energy. You know, that's what we do over here at iTrack. We keep everything positive. You get nowhere by hating. You get nowhere by hating. So for those who haven't been here before, what we like to do over here is take a look at a lot of these creepy TikToks and evaluate whether we think that they're fact or fiction. Because there's a lot of that going on out there in the internet, and you need to be able to decipher. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into episode 33.
Strange Animals Part 41. Ribbon Worm.
Now that don't look like something that I want on my arm. It looked like that worm just infected that man with something.
It's in the U.S. Embassy in Belize. I knew what was coming down. I'm not stupid. I had arranged with the head of security. I was going to come in. He said, "Sir, we have it from the highest authority. We are not to allow you entry."
Now, if you didn't own a computer back let's say late 1900s, early 2000s, you probably don't know who that guy is. John McAfee. He's the guy who put, the antivirus on everybody's computer. So it's interesting to hear what he has to say.
Into the U.S. Embassy. Understand me. Who was the highest authority of the State Department? Hillary Clinton. I'm an American citizen with a American passport. I'm sorry. I'm not wanted in America. I've got no crimes in America. Is it not a reason to say, I don't think I'm going to vote for you?
And yet you're here now.
For a month and a half, I was on the run. The reason that the government wanted to collect me was that after they had raided my property in 2012 in the jungle, shot my dog, abused me, destroyed $500,000 worth of my property over a bogus charge, I was pissed off. And so I donated to many secretaries within the government laptop computers, really nice ones, that were preloaded with viral spyware. Within a week, the entire government computer system was under my control. I was watching, monitoring, listening. I was looking for information that they had set me up for that raid. I didn't find that. I did find out that the Minister of National Defense was the largest drug trafficker in all of Central America. And the Minister of Immigration, the largest human trafficker.
We don't want to get killed by them either, so we're probably not going to
That's fine, that's fine.
It was getting a little hot in John McAfee's compound, so we decided to.
I hear Jamie Foxx, who's apparently an actor. I haven't watched a movie in like 20 years, I don't think, or television programming. I think I remember him from Mad TV or something when I used to watch in like the 90s. But
See, I'm gonna need that man to put some respect on Jamie's name. You know, Jamie's a legend. He's going down in history. Comedian, actor, singer. Put some respect on that man's name.
apparently he's a big actor now. And they say, this is a little unconfirmed, but it seems to be the case. You know, when Mike Tyson like kind of talks about it, like that's one of your best sources of info, and it actually really is.
Has there been any actual news on what this medical condition is? I mean, Jimmy Fox was a young, vibrant, healthy guy, and all of a sudden, boom.
Listen, if we don't know by now, they don't want us to know. Yeah. You know what time. Come on, man. Stop.
I gotta wake up.
But what they're saying is he got the lethal injection because he had to take it to be in a movie. And they say it made him blind and paralyzed him. Which, I actually heard that, and I was like, that's got to be the worst thing I've ever heard that could be done to a person. Hey Max, you hear about Jamie Foxx blind and paralyzed from the lethal injection? Did you hear about that?
No.
Oh.
I heard he was sick.
Well, here's the thing, though, that I'll bring up. You get like the scoop here. So it's interesting. Like I should be like totally saying, yeah, you see, it was the jab. But there's always like other things you don't know about. They're always doing other things. Did you know that Jamie Foxx was announced as a witness in the trial of Praz Michel in laundering millions of dollars to Obama's presidential campaign. Jamie Foxx mysteriously went to the hospital days after his name was announced.
Interesting how that works, isn't it? It's just a big coincidence, of course. Nothing to see here, you know.
Siberia, 1982. Russian Navy divers are conducting a research mission. 7 Russian divers are at a depth of 50 meters, when suddenly the frogmen realize they are being watched.
These strange humanoid figures were much bigger than human beings. These were large beings, human shaped but like 9 feet tall, wearing what seemed like very tight-fitting silvery suits. Not your normal scuba gear, basically. Swimming in the water, what they've come to call the swimmers of Lake Baikal.
What were these creatures? Why did they not seem to use what we would be using to sustain life? There were no oxygen tanks. So there are lots of interesting facets to this. You have creatures that are underwater and surviving with technology that we don't comprehend.
The Russian divers then make a fateful decision. They try to capture one.
The divers attempted to capture one of these creatures, but at this point...
It's hilarious. Me and the TikToker start shaking our head at the same time. As soon as they said that they were trying to capture one, we're like...
So the documents say. The entities reacted.
A powerful, unknown force suddenly propels the entire group of divers up from the deep water to the surface.
They did a rapid rise to the surface of the water. Well, when you do that too fast, you suffer from decompression and you get the bends, and it's deadly. There were 7 of these divers, and 3 of them died. And 4 were very severely injured as a result of this.
Okay, they say all of this is documented, and I totally believe it. I really do, because I know that a lot of these beings are coming from the ocean. I talked about this in an earlier video, and we're seeing this over and over. And a lot of these craft, a lot of these discs, a lot of these orbs, things that we're seeing, they dive straight into the water. They dive straight into the water. They go out of the water. I mean, we see them at all times. We know that there's inner earth. We know that these beings exist. Now, what these things were, I do not know, and nobody does. This is something, you know, the swimmers is what they're calling them. I mean, but if you look at what they're doing, you see, this is why they can't come to us and introduce themselves to us, because it's just not going to work. Humanity is geared to try and be selfish and take things for themselves. I mean, the first thing they did is try to capture one, like it's some type of a fish or something, not realizing that this is a highly advanced being so far above us. So it's like the goldfish trying to catch the shark. I mean, it's hilarious, and it ends up killing 3 of them. I mean, humanity always wants to destroy everything, and this is why they keep making the statements they do with the nukes, why they deactivate them all the time, and things like that. I mean, they can't introduce themselves to us because, I mean, we would probably try to kill them, and then we would end up getting destroyed. That's exactly what would happen.
In the 5th dimension, you can teleport, you can fly, you can heal things. Your thought creates the reality. But there are limitations. You just can't destroy the whole dimension. There are astral police, by the way. The way you meet a time traveler is in the 5th dimension. Well, they're real. We know they exist. Every time you can think of a potential future, you're actually creating a parallel universe. Your astral body, your spiritual body, it looks like a ghost. Let's say you're having a problem with someone. Go to the astral plane. You create what's called a sanctuary, like a conference room in the 5th dimension. You now summon the soul of the person you're having problems with. They have to show up. You can now work out your differences. You can do a negotiation with them. They won't, on the Earth plane, won't know what's going on because they're asleep now.
Did I go home?
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
Military whistleblower published this morning alleging a secret UFO retrieval program within the U.S. government.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles. You call it spacecraft, if you will. No kidding, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
quite a number.
One of the things you're going to learn in Ross's reporting is that it's a 90-plus year cover-up.
We're actually pre-recording this because I'm going to be on the moon when this goes to air. But what we do know is that at 8 o'clock New York time, 5 June, tomorrow, there is going to be an article appearing in the Debrief written by Leslie Kane and Ralph Blumenthal, which I hope will rock Washington, the intelligence community, and the Department of Defense right to its sock. It's the revelations of a hugely important intelligence community insider, a guy called David Grush, who until early April was a very senior member of the intelligence community. Dave and I have been talking some time, and I have the television interview. What Mr. Grush has to say is quite momentous. It's big. We have the beginning of what I believe will be a trail of whistleblowers, good men and women who are now coming forward to talk about what they know about, incredible as it may seem, a non-human intelligence that's been engaging with this planet for many, many years, and incredibly even further, the fact that the United States government really is in possession of retrieved non-human technology.
Know how to play that, and then it was such a hit. It was way bigger than I even anticipated, and now I think we're gonna make part 2. I think you have to. I think you have to. They kill you if you try to walk away, and they clone you.
I'm Tony Hawk, and I recently became...
Something about what Jack Black just said and how he said it made me feel like he was saying something without saying something.
Ambassador for Liquid Death Mountain Water. Apparently I didn't read the fine print, and now Liquid Death officially owns my soul. Wait, if you have my blood, that means you have my DNA. No clone.
Me está viendo, güey, me está viendo y me da miedo. Me está viendo. Me está viendo, güey, me da miedo.
Just dead in the eyes, just energy not there. Something is obviously up, but what's up? We're definitely gonna find out, put it that way.
Make even more noise for my band.
Kevin Hart's terrifying car crash back in September of 2019. TMZ reports that no one in the car that night has filed a lawsuit or been sued. On September 1st, Hart was a passenger in his 1970 Plymouth Barracuda when the driver of the car, Hart's friend and producer Jared Black, lost control and crashed through some wooden fencing. It was just before 1 a.m. in Malibu, California. The blue Barracuda crashed about 10 feet off the road and into a ditch, leaving both men with major back injuries and landing Hart in the operating room for spinal surgery. He recently opened up about the aftermath of that crash in an interview with Men's Health. Went on to add, "I'm not trying to get back to where I was before. I want to do better than before. It's a resurrection. That's the best way for me to put it. I feel like the other version of myself died in that moment, and this new version was born to understand and to do better. I'm glad this is coming now. I'm getting older. I'm 40. This is when I'm supposed to start realizing this bleep." That was his quote.
They're clones, stupid ass. Damn, they look just like you.
It's the same exact person. Even down to the DNA. You know what DNA is?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
DNA is digital necessary asset. I always thought it was that.
Now, what I need to know is we're going to break up into 2 groups. Who wants to be down with the Kill Kevin clone group? All right.
Wait. I've been dreaming about killing Kevin for years.
Do you know how many hits I have if I kill Kevin on my single fans? Then Akira will be all mine. This nigga got to die.
Facebook, there you are. Television, there you are. How do you do it? I have a clone. I was gonna say that. There's 2 of you.
Cat's out the bag. Okay? It's about a good 3 of me. We broke it. They didn't want to release it yet. This is major news that I'm giving you.
All right.
I'm the first person to ever use it. I'm cloned.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it.
If I'm able to do all that I do.
Heart, I can't wait to show you. Please step in. Now, I just want to warn you that we had to cut a few
have
corners.
to explain it. Trust me, I know all that stuff will be figured out. I just want to see it.
This secret ancient text reveals the process behind manifestation. The ancient text, known as the Lost Gospel of Thomas, was discovered in Egypt in 1945 and is thought to have been left out of the traditional Bible centuries ago. This mysterious text unveils the hidden teachings of Jesus, which were the source of his remarkable powers. The core of manifestation can be captured in a quote attributed to Jesus within this lost gospel. When you make the two one, you will say, "Mountain, move away," and the mountain will move away. The secret wisdom lies within the phrase, "When you make the two one." What does it truly mean? This insightful statement conveys that once you successfully merge your thoughts and emotions into a single, powerful force, you gain the ability to manifest anything you desire. Your thoughts provide the intention, while your emotions create the feeling of already experiencing the intended outcome. This harmonious combination is the genuine secret behind the art of manifestation.
I would want the world to know that we are very, very close. And all the people on the inside know this. This is the key of disclosure. We are very close to some sort of energetic shift that the sun is going to do. There have already been multiple experiments, I've heard this from several insiders, in which they take ordinary folks and they put them into a room and they zap them with the energy that our sun is going to give off when we go through this change. They become very blissed out. They start to get really telepathic. They can move things with their mind. Everybody kind of goes into a psychedelic.
I think what he's saying is everybody's going to turn into an X-Man. So prepare for that.
Trip. Our government knows that this is going to happen, where there's no veil left, where we are wide open to reality.
The movie The Matrix is not science fiction. It's a documentary. Every human, and this is a fact, every human first 7 years is download a hypnosis. The brain of a child under 7 is in a lower vibrational frequency. When you put wires on a person's head, you read electroencephalograph, reading brain activity. A child below 7 has a lower vibration than consciousness. It's called theta. Theta is imagination. Oh, that's how kids play a tea party with mud pies, but to them it's a real thing. A kid rides a broom, it's a horse. That's theta, imagination. Theta is also hypnosis. And the idea is this: before you can become conscious, if you don't have any programs, what are you going to be conscious of?
So where's the edge?
Who's to say that there is an edge, and why assume there is one? Is it because when we are introduced to the idea of a flat earth, it's always depicted like this? In the currently most accepted model, Antarctica is not a continent, but a 360-degree landmass made up of ice that holds the oceans within. When we look at a Gleason's map from 1892, that states at the top that it's scientifically and practically correct, as is. We see this Antarctic ice rim. The Gleason's map is basically an azimuthal equidistant projection which can be traced back to the year 1000. The AE map is also an official map of the United States Geological Survey, the USGS, and the official logo for the United Nations. The oldest known globe in the world is from 1492. This is something you need to keep in mind because many people argue that the azimuthal equidistant map is just a flattened out version of the globe, when in fact the globe is just a rounded version of this true world flat map. If the flat map came first and it has the ability to convert into a globe without any problems whatsoever, then that should tell you a little bit about how this globe deception was achieved. Now, back to if there is an edge or not. There is no proof that there is an edge past the Antarctic ice wall, but it is speculated by many that perhaps the plane that we live on is either extremely expansive or it's possibly endless. In these two scenarios, it would be logically assumed that more land is being hidden from the general public. In a 1954 interview with Admiral Richard E. Byrd, an American naval officer who specialized in exploration, he had this to say.
But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole, on the other side of the South Pole, from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
Implying that there is
Now that was actual video. Didn't look like CGI to me. So that says something. I'm not sure what, but it says something though.
more land past Antarctica. If that uninhabited land was on a globe, it would be in the Indian Ocean. A recent discovery of an old Buddhist map in a newspaper from 1907 seems to support the idea of a vast plain with much more land.
Where does the sun go if the Earth is flat?
Well, the sun neither rises nor sets, but travels in a clockwise circuit from east to west, and only appears to rise and set due to perspective. The sun disappears at the vanishing point of human perspective on the horizon where the ground meets the sky, and since the sun is not 93 million miles away, I repeat, not 93 million miles away, but much closer and smaller, the light emanating from the sun only illuminates about half of the flat plane at once as it makes its daily journey.
What's underneath the flat Earth?
This is obviously an unanswerable question since the assumed edge has never been known to be reached, but many people suppose that whether the Earth is round or flat, that either way, it still must be floating in the middle of outer space. But the idea of outer space goes out the window with the round Earth theory. Many religious texts support an immovable Earth that has its foundations on which it is laid, and its pillars by which it is supported. We simply don't know, but we do know that the Earth is obviously fixed in place as we can tell by our everyday experience of non-movement. What we see in the skies above are illuminated objects making circles around us just as it appears. Whatever this place may be, it's the center of all we survey. Some say that the Earth is the floor of the universe. In the ancient Hebrew conception of the universe, we are surrounded by the waters above and the waters below, known as the Great Deep. The deepest hole ever drilled into the Earth was a total of about 7.5 miles. The very core of the Earth is nothing more than wild speculation, if not another malicious lie. So what's under the Earth? That remains a mystery to us all. But another thing that you can research is what's inside the Earth. Multi-billion-dollar deep underground military bases known as DUMBs, D-U-M-Bs, right?
What about ships and boats disappearing over the horizon?
This is also due to human perspective. They don't go over the horizon, they go into the horizon, moving beyond the limit of our vision and past the vanishing point. But the ships and boats are easily brought back into view with a pair of binoculars, a telescope, and any camera with a good zoom lens. A great question to ask yourself is why can't we see noticeable curvature from 120,000 feet up? But many people claim that the supposed curvature can be seen from the ground by watching boats. It doesn't make sense.
Strange Animals Part 58. From a parasite.
It doesn't make sense.
Strange Animals Part 58. From a parasite.
Oh no, that looked like a straight demon. That don't look like a parasite to me. That looked like a straight demon.
Oh, Lucifer in the flesh. Do you know how many journalists would kill? Wait, you probably do. First, I want to say thank you to agreeing to this interview, because I know you are a very, very busy person.
Yes, I usually like to fly under the radar, but I figured since I'm already on the campaign trail, why not?
Okay. First, let's talk about your reign. Now, you've had a fairly long one. What would you attribute to your success and popularity?
Oh, that's easy. Every generation is the same. I appeal to their lust and ego. I offer all the sex, wealth, and fame a person could want. Do as thou wilt has been my campaign slogan from the start. And my campaign platform hasn't changed either. I run on the same 3 issues every generation. Lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and pride of life.
Okay. When you say lust of the flesh, what exactly do you mean?
Come on now, what do I mean? Isn't it obvious? I just use humans' own innate physical desires against them. And since sexual desire seems to be the most powerful, I usually run with that. Now, I didn't create sex, but I must say I've done a superb job at perverting it. Take pornography, for example. Well, you should know a lot about this one, Ivan. Weren't you addicted to porn?
This interview is about you, not about me. Can we get back on subject?
Now, where was I? Oh yeah, what I do is gradually get someone addicted to porn. And once lust has had its full work and he and she can no longer restrain themselves, they usually look to act out their fantasies on someone. And sometimes that someone is a child. Now, if my plan plays out perfectly, that abused child will eventually turn to a life of promiscuity and perversion themselves, allowing me to continue my vicious cycle. And here's the kicker. Many of those abused girls end up right in the porn industry. Now, how's that for irony?
The second thing you had mentioned, I believe, was lust of the eyes. Can you elaborate?
Humans are never satisfied. You always crave more. Bigger house, bigger car, more money, more power. The list goes on and on. I just take their natural ambitious desire, pervert it, and use it against them for their own destruction. My plan is to allow them to never be content. As long as I can keep them craving what others have, I can depend on them to argue, fight, even kill to get it. Humans are so easily tricked into jealousy. And you know what they say. Jealousy is as cruel as the grave.
Yes, I have heard that before. The last thing you had mentioned was, I believe, pride of life. Now, how does this fit into your campaign platform?
Humans are always on a quest for knowledge. I trick the first humans to seek carnal knowledge over godly wisdom, and it's worked like a charm every generation since. With more knowledge comes more pride, and you know pride is my specialty. And since humans don't like to keep God in their wisdom, I'm able to seduce them with all types of things to help puff up their ego. Lately, fame has been my biggest seller. Who doesn't like attention?
So you mean to tell me that your policies are intentionally racist against black people?
Racist? This has got to be the best law I've ever come up with. Now, I can't believe that humans still believe they're different races. But to answer your question, yes. It has always been my policy to target and isolate a group of people. And out of all my strategies, this skin color thing has worked the best. I definitely want to keep white people and black people separated. As long as I can keep black people bitter and white people offended, I'm good. Hopefully black people will never forgive. That way I can continue to use them.
Okay, my question is, what role, if any, does your administration play in this black on black crime epidemic?
Well, as great as my administration is, we can't take all the credit for this. Black people help us tremendously. By aborting so many of their babies, they allow us to bring death to their communities. As the Bible says, they sow the wind and reap a whirlwind.
When implementing all of these policies, do you ever face any resistance or pushback? And if so, from who?
One group in particular try to oppose every policy I try to implement. I would be so much further along in my agenda if it wasn't for them.
Really? So what group is that?
Those pesky, born-again Jesus followers. They're a real thorn in my side. Every generation they come together and try to dismantle one of my signature policies. Now, I've convinced half of the world that Jesus didn't exist and the other half that he wasn't divine. But I can't seem to convince them. They seem hell-bent on telling everybody about him and spreading his message. Some of them believe he's coming to unseat me in this generation. Crazy, huh? I tell you, those idiots are really messing with my legacy.
So, Lucifer, how does that make you feel when us idiots say that Jesus possibly could be coming back in this generation to unseat you?
Y'all been saying that for centuries. I just use it as motivation to get as much of my agenda pushed through and deceive as many people as possible before he returns. I think I've done pretty well. My record speaks for itself. About 150,000 people die each day, and most of them don't know Jesus.
150,000 people. Whew. Well, you know what? This concludes our interview. I want to say thank you for open, honest, pretty frank discussion with me. Is there any last words you would like to leave with our viewing audience?
Yes. I'd like to take this moment and give a special thank you to two groups of people. First, I want to say thank you to all my followers. You are the hands and feet of my administration, and we could do nothing without you. Keep up the good work spreading my message. And second, I'd like to say thank you to the divided church. I love the way you argue and use your passions to fight amongst each other. Keep up the good work. There's really no rush to tell people about Jesus. You all have plenty of time.
Not tell you. U.S. Treasury bonds set to unleash a tsunami of bonds. Wall Street warns of market unreadiness. Now listen, to my understanding, these are one-day bonds that Janet Yellen is going to dump. Listen, people, you got to pay attention to what they do, not what they say. I have been on top of this for the past 3 months. I've been talking treasury bonds, treasury bonds, treasury bonds. Here we go. Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway dumps billions worth of U.S. stocks, buys treasury bonds instead. People take these BRICS alliance lightly. You shouldn't. All these countries that are joining BRICS are way more than what they're telling you. And they're also going to be allowed to dump treasury bonds in exchange for gold. I'm going to tell you what I've always told you. Wake up and get your...
That was pretty deep. That was pretty deep. I know that wasn't actually Satan, but I'm pretty sure that's everything Satan would say, which is pretty wild. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Once again, I want to go ahead and shout out to all my new subscribers, all the day one subscribers. Shout out to all of y'all, man. Without you, this channel would be absolutely nothing. Every channel that's grown and made massive gains is because of the people that love the content. So I appreciate you guys for stopping by. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and spam that like button. And thanks for stopping by, man. I'll catch you on the next one.